All right, welcome back to Bloom and Brunch with Chef Brittany. We are back with another recipe for you that's quick and easy. So we are doing our dance to the beat brownies today, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to get this recipe done very quickly. All right, so let's gather in and see what I have going on here. So the first step that you're going to do is you're actually going to melt your chocolate and butter together. And the best way to do that is to actually do it over a double boiler. So just be mindful that this will be hot when you first do it. But you're just going to put some water in here, have it boil. The steam will actually melt all of the butter and the chocolate together for you. So this is good for you to go ahead and get this measured out and get this melting while you measure out the rest of the ingredients. And then once you do that, go ahead and let it cool. So it's cool to the touch for me right now. I'm gonna go ahead and move it over and go ahead and start putting the rest of my ingredients in. Okay, so with this being said, once you cool down the bowl, this can be a one bowl recipe, so you don't have a lot of dishes, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're actually gonna add all of our wet ingredients. So we have our beets, of course, our secret ingredient. One thing with my recipes is that there will always be a fruit or a vegetable present, even if it's silent. We have some applesauce that we're gonna throw in there, some natural sweetener for us to make these nice, yummy brownies. Cut down on some of the sugar, but we're using some brown sugar today. All right, we're gonna use a little bit of vanilla, give it a little bit of flavor. So I actually like to whisk this up first to get those lumps out of the brown sugar. You want to get those lumps out of the brown sugar because when you are measuring your sugar, you want to make sure, the brown sugar that is, you want to make sure that you're packing that brown sugar in that measuring cup, pushing down and making sure it's all the way full when you are measuring brown sugar. We're going to add our eggs in. One trick for your eggs is that you always want to crack your eggs into a separate bowl. Just in case you get a shell in that bowl, you can take it out really easily, or just in case there might be an egg that isn't all the way right. It might be a little spoiled. So just to avoid messing up your whole batter, go ahead and crack those eggs separately and then put them into your batter. All right, so basically we have all of our wet ingredients in there. Now we're gonna add our dry ingredients. So I put all of my dry ingredients, including the flour, the baking powder, and the salt in here and mix it up. And what I like to do is actually fold this in two parts, just to make sure that I incorporate all of the flour and make sure there is no flour pockets left in my brownies. I don't know if you guys have ever bitten into a baked good and there was a flour pocket and it was not appetizing. So we want to make sure that we just fold in the flour little by little. Once that flour is incorporated, you can add in the rest of your flour, just like that. And as you notice, this recipe actually calls for whole wheat flour. So this is a whole grain rich recipe that your family, especially your kiddos, are going to love, and they won't even know that there's beets and applesauce and whole grain flour in this recipe. They're just gonna see yummy brownies. All right, so I got all my flour incorporated. And if you want, if you have some additional chocolate chips, you can throw a couple of those in there as well. And then you can fold those in just like so. All right, so now that that is all mixed together, you're gonna have a nice looking batter like this. And we are going to start dishing up our brownies. Now, the recipe that you all have is actually for 24 muffin brownies, if you want to make 24 muffin brownies, or a large pan of brownies. I tend to like the muffins because you can cook those pretty quickly. But if you're going to dish out the muffins, I suggest you get a nice scoop so all of them end up even. All right, our brownies are dished up. Let's put them in the oven. All right, so we're back with our cooled muffins. They are cooked and they're cooled and they are ready to taste. Are you ready to taste it, Jabari? Are you ready to taste it right here? Okay, all right, so here's yours on your plate. And then here's mommy's. Let's cheers. Pick up your brownie. Cheers. All right, let's try it. What do you think?
Chocolate.
It's chocolate. You like chocolate? Yeah. Okay. Kid and baby approved. We'll see you guys next time on Bloom and Brunch with Chef Brittany.